Okay guys, listen up. This is a brief video for Geometry SLO Review Worksheet number 1, Congruent Statements. I'm taking a couple of problems directly from the actual worksheet, so A, I'm doing your homework for you, so you're welcome, and B, hopefully you'll remember, or at least this will refresh your memory as to how we have to write our congruent statements. Now remember, when you are writing a congruent statement, you are writing an angle is congruent to an angle, a segment is congruent to a segment, a triangle is congruent to a triangle. And we have what we call our tick marks and our arc marks, and they help us figure out what's congruent to what. Now, you have both a congruent statement saying triangle KLM congruent to triangle UVW. Okay, and then you also have the picture down here where you've got triangle KLM right here, and then UVW as well, UVW. And if you notice, take a look. We've got one arc mark for angle K, one arc mark for angle U. Those are congruent. The two arc marks match up. We've got 1 and 1. And if you also look back up at your statement, you've got K is listed first, U is listed second. If we follow along, we've got two arc marks for L and two arc marks for V. They're also in the second position, right, in each of those statements. And then if you look down here, we've got 1, 2, 3 for M and 1, 2, 3 for W, and those are listed, okay, in the third position. If we look at segments now, we've got segment KL and segment UV. Okay, those two both have one tick mark. Remember, tick marks for segments, tick marks for segments, arc marks for angles. If you look at this, you go from one arc mark, one tick mark to two arc marks. So 1 to 2 to 1 right here. It tells you exactly what direction you're going. And if you look, KL and UV listed, okay, first two letters. So I know that's a lot for this one first problem, but I just wanted to kind of refresh our memory as to what works with what. Okay, and so if we look, we've got angle M. We can do two things. We can either look at the triangles themselves, because we have the pictures, and we'll say, okay, angle M is congruent to angle W, and that completes our congruent statement. Or we can look and say, okay, you know what? Here's M and here's W, and we have two separate triangles, and remember there's only one angle at each of these, right? So we can go ahead and just list it with one letter. So angle M congruent to angle W. Okay, if we look at the next one, let's look at number 8 off of your worksheet. So we have triangle JKL congruent to triangle FLH. Okay, JKL congruent to triangle FLH. And we want to know segment LJ is congruent to what other segment? And we know we're talking segments because we see this one bar on the top of our two letters. If we look at the statement itself, we go from L right here and then up to J right there. So if I'm writing my other statement, I'm going to go from the third letter here up to the first letter here. So it's going to be H, F. Okay. Now you can, if you want to, draw yourself a triangle, but sometimes it is actually just easier to look at, HF, LJ, they're in the same position. So for example, if I said segment KJ is congruent to segment, well, if you look, I went K right there to J right there. Well, then that means I'm going to go L, the middle letter, to F, the first letter. Okay. So just another little reminder. So hopefully that's enough to get you through what you need to get through for the first worksheet.